Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I'm outside Stamford Bridge after a 3-1 loss against Brighton in the Premier League. Nina, thanks for being patient, waiting around. Obviously, I saw you at half-time. Things look more positive at that point than at full-time.
Yeah.
Walk me through the game. Talk to me about your emotions and, yeah, just everything that went around it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to take because it just feels so self-inflicted. Do you know what I mean? It's not like these teams that we've played at this start of the season are dominating us or outplaying us in every aspect. Like, how many errors are we making to gift goals, to get ourselves sent off for stupid decision-making? It just seems like we're letting ourselves down every single time. And then Maresca's in a situation where he's clearly having to think on the spot, which as a Premier League manager, you have to do. This is it, right? Let's not normalise 2 red cards in 2 games being fine, but it's the way you adapt and it's the way that you respond that matters. It's done now. We have players sent off, but how do you respond? We're cruising in the first half. We're 1-0 up. Brighton don't look good. They don't look like they can get something out of us. I'm thinking we need a second goal here at half time to just put ourselves at ease. We know that we tend to go into second halves a little bit uneasy and teams get at us. So that's what we needed. But even so, like you said, we seemed okay. Second half, what happens? Capitulation. And it's just like the team that Maresca put out is good enough. It should be good enough. Yes, I've said since the start of the season that defensively we're scarce. Do you remember we were outside after Crystal Palace at the start of the season? People called me out for saying, oh, it wasn't about our defence today. Yeah, it wasn't about defence, but I was looking at the whole season. We always needed to go in for another centre-back because now we're short. And it's these choices, it's these things that are going to leave us even weaker heading into Benfica, Liverpool, such a difficult week. But this is now 3 games to forget. I want to forget about this game. I want to forget about the Lincoln game. I want to forget about the Man United game.
Even the game we won?
It's just not very world champions of us.
Yeah, well, that's true. That is true. It's definitely not world champions.
And honestly, I'm just sick and tired of having to lower my standards because we should be doing better than what we are. We're literally giving self-esteem to teams like Manchester United, who have barely won this season, Brighton, who picked up their first away points of the season, and there they are. They're going for more. What they saw after Chalobah got sent off is a team that they could get at, and the substitutions that Maresca made hindered the confidence of our players and just fed into their play. Even their manager said that after the red card, they were just encouraged because they could see that even 1 man down, we still couldn't do anything because we brought on 3 defenders and a midfielder, not a single attacker there. I praised him for not bringing off Esteval first. Oh, but wait, he brought him off second sub. And it's just like, Maresca, like, what are you doing here? You're sending out a message to the players, oh, you can't do this. Defend the draw. Or defend the lead, rather, because that's what we were doing. And us fans did so much today. Even when Chalobah got sent off, heads didn't drop. We were there, we were supporting, we were cheering. We gave the players the energy they needed. Maresca seemed like he was working against us, though, with the substitutions he made. How much quality, how much money have we spent for players sat on the bench? I could bring you up 4 attackers that were sat on that bench. You're not a single one of them made it onto the pitch today. And this is what I mean. Like, we should have more self-esteem following this summer. We should be able to say, oh, let's get at this team. We could get at this Brighton team. We're not playing Liverpool, for Christ's sake. We are next weekend. We'll see how that goes. Are we going to set up with 7 defenders against them? Oh wait, we can't because we don't actually have that many. But do you know what I mean? It's like the message you're sending out to the players is that they're not good enough to go out there and get a better result.
When we talk about self-esteem, obviously the manager has to instill a confidence in the players, but you also have to see the performances, right? If you are put in a position where, regardless of the words, it's just the actions, the changes, it does look like you're becoming more defensive, you're trying to hold on instead of finishing the game or winning.
Absolutely.
Then that is a mentality that's then going to breed into the players and they're going to get used to that. That is not what you want at this level.
No. And again, it's like you had an opportunity to learn from the Manchester United game. Even then we were saying, why bring off all the attackers? Why not bring one on earlier? And it's again this moment where you have Joao Pedro, a player I'm currently feeling so sorry for, Alex. If you want to talk about mismanagement, talk about it. Joao Pedro is going to be playing full 90 minutes for us from here on. Let's be real. He's going to have to. But he's being left out to dry. He's got no wingers there to support him on the pitch, and what are you expecting him to do? Malagusto, arguably fine, the fastest player there, but is he going to provide any service? No, he's not, because when we hit Brighton on a counter, he stopped and decided to pick a pass and slow down the whole counter attack. And what's that about? So it's not good enough. It's like these are the opportunities that we have to be capitalising on. I don't want us to be in a position like that, but if it's coming to that, then great. And of course, Danny Welbeck. I mean, how much more goals does he want to score against Chelsea? Death taxes Danny Welbeck scoring against Chelsea. It's always true. How old is this guy? Why is he still playing in the Premier League? What is going on? But yeah, it's just like we have ourselves to blame. I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking 11 minutes at a time. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Guess what? It's a bad thing these days because they score 2 goals there in added time. I don't even trust we could defend a draw then at that point. But yeah, we're just feeding confidence to these teams who are struggling in the Premier League. Yet we want to be competing with the ones at the very top.
Well, I mean, to an extent, we were on top of the world not long ago, and now we're sitting here saying we scraped a win against Lincoln. We couldn't beat Brentford. We couldn't beat Manchester United, one of the worst teams in their history.
You can't say that though, Alex, because look at the points tally. How can you say that? Look at the points tally, look at the table, look at the difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't even beat Brighton, our feeder club. Literally our feeder club. It's like the audition, isn't it?
They were loving it, weren't they? They were absolutely loving it. Yeah, I think it was Paul Merson made a joke before the game saying Brighton need to be on their best behaviour, on their best performances because it's audition day. Yeah. Which players are we signing in January, do you reckon?
Do you think we will?
Welbeck might put an offer in for him.
Take what I can get, to be honest. Like anything to just show more signs of success. I think the main frustration I'm hearing from a lot of fans, especially with regards to players, it's not that they don't like the signings, it's that they don't see how the signings help us right now. And that is a huge concern. Because you look at certain players, Hatto, Garnacho, there's a long list, obviously. We don't need to go through all of them. And you can see what they can bring to the team, but is that going to win you a league? Is that going to win you... is that going to get you consistency?
Yeah.
And when you sign such young players, you're always going to have that wave effect. So do you think there's a part of that Maresca just has to deal with, or are we looking at this mentality and saying it's stemming from the manager, or are we going to go even further? It's quite a long question, and say it's from the management and the ownership.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think right now, Matchday 6 is early to kind of isolate, okay? Because it's a collective almost with what we're seeing. I think the players that Maresca's putting out is arguably the strongest. It's what we were happy with. It's what we were pretty much confident with. Yeah, maybe, like I said, wasn't happy with defence coming into the season, wasn't happy with the goalkeeper. But you can still get behind the team and say there should be enough quality to see out some of the games, pick up more points than we have at the start of the season. But like I said, the one criticism I have for Maresca is his in-game management. Because we're seeing it, and it's like you're sending out those players there with a point to prove, but then when things go south and you as a Premier League manager managing Chelsea have an opportunity to make a statement and go for it at teams that you can get at, that is where you hinder the players' confidence. And obviously they're going to make mistakes, they're going to learn, they're young, all of that. We can give those excuses and we can justify that, but Maresca's not helping them. And what is that doing to players like Garnacho and Gittins, who can't even get a look in at the moment, clearly? He seems to favour Tyreek George by the looks of things, but he's not coming on either. So it's like, Maresca, I'm trying to get in here, but I can't really find out what you're doing. And if anything, I worry for Joao Pedro. How much does he have to work his socks off and be left up there to fend for himself, and no player around him is pretty much providing any service? And we're just looking to defend a 1-0 lead, then defend a draw, and then try not to concede another. But trust me, at that point, I don't care if we're losing 2-1 or 3-1. It's about the initiative, and we didn't have it.
What about the midfield? We got a goal from midfield with Enzo. You had Santos in there with Caicedo as well. First time this season we've started like that in the Prem, if I'm not wrong. What did you make of that setup?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was excited and open to see it. I think great. Enzo Fernandez's goal was lovely. I mean, great cross from Reece James. It's what he does best. We've seen those crosses so many times, and that's what you get from Reece James. It's just what he does. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't really be happy about it now because it's just been tarnished by that whole second half there. But Santos, hard again, because you could argue he had some blame to take for that red card that Chalobah ultimately got at the end, put him in a bit of a crap position, but then he probably actually repaid him for vice versa on Tuesday, if you remember, against Lincoln, where Santos gave away a really stupid ball to Chalobah.
That was Enzo.
Oh, was it Enzo? Yes, okay, return the favour, I guess. But yeah, it's not good enough. And we know our players are going to make mistakes like that. Fine. But still, the quality has to be better, Alex. It really does.
Do you see a lack of quality in this team? Do you see a team that's got enough ability?
Yeah. I see. Sorry, that didn't sound very convincing. Of course, we have ability. Let's not pretend that these players didn't go and win the Club World Cup over summer, because a lot of them contributed to it, right? They were there, they were competing. I know it's not the same, and ultimately maybe they're crumbling at the thought of doing it over a 38 Premier League game season, because it's so different. There's so many more games, there's so much more pressure. You're juggling the Champions League, the Premier League, the cup competitions, and there is a lot there to do. But ultimately, I can't be coming into another season, Alex, saying, oh, they're too young, give them time, give them this, give them that. Because again, you've brought in supposedly Premier League players or players that have the experience there. You've got certain players now that have spent the seasons with us. You're talking Cucurella, Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto even now. Sample size is small, but this is what we do. It's a big turnover, etc. Reece James as well you can put in there. So it should, again, be a little bit more seamless with the players that are coming in, but still it doesn't seem like it is. Do you know what I mean? There's still too much change. There's still too much not knowing what to do with ends. Maresca doesn't seem like he's got it all figured out. And maybe that's fine at the start of the season, but show me that there isn't this fear that you seem to have when it comes to playing a 10-man side against any. Is this what we're going to keep doing?
Do you see a lack of conviction?
Yeah. Certainly, yeah. And we know we've got a problem with consistency. I said coming into this Premier League season, Chelsea's biggest weakness is staying consistent. It's as simple as that. We can go through good spells, we go through our bad spells, but consistency is something we have struggled with so much more, and clearly haven't got it at the start of this season. It's just 2 wins in our opening 5 games, and it's not good enough. It really isn't. And we've made the excuses now. You could say Bayern Munich is a tough game. Bayern Munich away, let's be real. But the Brentford game before that at the weekend, again, individual errors. Then you're looking at the Lincoln game, the Man United game, which again I said I just wanted to forget. And it just feels like there's too many lack of, it is individual errors, but it is also Enzo Maresca. It's just a combination of everything.
It's a domino effect. It happens to one person and then it goes around. One week it's Garnacho, one week it's Enzo, one week, again, we spoke about Chalobah. Tossin's made mistakes. So many players that you can point out, and that does make you think that maybe the manager is, more to blame. But listen, I think it's early days. I'm certainly happy to be critical of the manager.
Yeah, of course, we will be critical. Yeah. But of course, we'll still support. It is matchday 5. Like, this is obviously, I think it's warranted criticism. Do you know what I mean? And I think Maresca, he justified his substitutions. He said that, he brought on Malo Gusto because James was defending Minte one-on-one. He brought off Hato because apparently he had a cramp. But again, I get that. Josh comes on, but bring on an attacker as well. Let that team have a little bit of self-confidence. Again, no disrespect, but it's Brighton. They've struggled this season.
You think that's purely tactical, or is it a message to the board? I don't trust these players that you've signed.
But we know that Enzo Maresca did send out a message that he wanted a centre-back, didn't he? He said he's not quite happy. He wanted one over summer. That was ignored and looked over. And now apparently we are looking forward to the January transfer window. So that tells me that mistakes have been made, and we're realising it now. There's more injuries. You've got Chalobah, who's arguably going to be our most important centre-back now, most experienced. But it's not sustainable for the games that we have coming up and how long our season is going to be, Alex.
It's not just the centre-back, it's Mark Guiu, it's Garnacho to an extent in certain games, it's Jamie Gittens, we've seen it with Andre Santos, we've seen it with Hato, although he did start today, granted. There's a number of players that we could talk about that we've signed that haven't really had a key part to play. You could even say, to an extent, you've got Estevao coming off, but I think that's because of the red card.
Yeah, but you're right though, but what you say there is true, because Enzo Maresca might not love Garnacho and Gittens. He might also have raised his arms, raised his shoulders in someone we signed them and thought, why? But he's still got to utilise them, right? They're expensive. You've got Garnacho there, he's burning to play. You've got Gittens there, burning to play. I don't necessarily believe they're the highest quality players, but it doesn't mean they don't have anything to contribute. So maybe I'll cut Maresca some slack for that, but you can't know until you try, right? And he's got to do better with them, utilise them more. Even so, we all thought Garnacho would play at least a small part against Man United at Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? It almost seemed like the most obvious thing, yet didn't even make a minute, didn't come off the bench. I think he warmed up, that was it, made a little run down the flank. But we'll get behind the team, we'll support, but it is a little bit difficult, Alex, to think about how consistency is going to be built at this point,
Yeah, well listen, thanks for coming on, Nina.
It's all right.